start this.
Good evening. Yeah, right.
Good evening. This is a subset of Second Wind. This is the four winds, I guess. And so we're going to do a little Christmas program here that Second Wind had put together, and we're going to have it with the four of us and see how it goes. The first song that we are going to do is I Wonder As I Wander, which was written by an American folklorist and singer, John Jacob Niles. It has its origins in a song fragment collected by Niles on July 16th of 1933 while attending a fundraising meeting held by evangelicals in Appalachian, North Carolina. A young girl began to sing. Her clothes were dirty and ragged, and so was she, but she was beautiful and she could sing. The girl, named Annie Morgan, repeated the song fragment, and Niles left with 3 lines of verse based on this fragment, which he composed into the version of I Wonder As I Wander that is known today. Ready? Twice through. 1, 2. Our next song, Go Tell It on the Mountain, is an African-American spiritual compiled by John Wesley Work Jr. dating back to at least 1865. It has been sung and recorded by many gospel and secular performers. Go Tell It on the Mountain. 1, 2. Angels from the Realms of Glory is a Christmas carol written by Scottish poet James Montgomery. It was first published in the Sheffield Iris on Christmas Eve of 1816, but it only began to be sung in churches after its republication in 1825. Angels from the Realms of Glory. One, here. At the end of the 17th century, the Church of England still did most of its singing from the Psalter, compiled in 1562. Nahum Tate and Nicholas Brady recast the Psalms in modern language, publishing the new version of the Psalter in 1696. Many folks of the time resented the change, but King William III endorsed it. In 1700, Tate and Brady published a supplement of 16 new hymns to go along with their songs. This Christmas carol, While Shepherds Watch Their Flocks, a paraphrase of the shepherd's story as found in Luke 2, 8-14, was in that collection. So while shepherds watch their flocks. 1, 2. O Little Town of Bethlehem originated in 1868 as a poem written for the Sunday School of the Church of the Holy Trinity on Philadelphia's Rittenhouse Square. The words by Rector Phillips Brooks and music by church organist Louis H. Redner. O Little Town of Bethlehem. 1, 2. Evidence suggests that Away in a Manger is wholly an American product. The original two-stanza form probably originated among the German Lutherans in Pennsylvania around 1885. And this is a more contemporary version of the song, and I hope you recognize it. Ready? 1, 2. Is This is a Christmas carol with lyrics written by William Chatterton Dix in 1865 and set to the tune of Greensleeves, a traditional English folk song, in 1871. Although written in Great Britain, the carol today is more popular here in the United States than in its country of origin. What child is this? John Henry Hopkins wrote We Three Kings around 1857, based on the narrative of the journey of the Magi in Matthew 2, 1-12, which begins after Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod. Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." So this is the We Three Kings of Orient are. 1, 2. We switch genres a little bit here, but just a little bit. And Blue Christmas is our next one. It's a song written by Billy Hayes and J.W. Johnson, and most famously recorded by Elvis Presley in a rock and roll fashion, although it was first recorded by Doyle Odell in 1948. It is a tale of unrequited love during the holidays, but it goes a bit deeper for those who have lost someone close to them. Blue Christmas is a long-standing staple of country Christmas music. Blue Christmas. Ready? 1, 2. Well, you can't have a blue Christmas without having a white Christmas, which was written by Irving Berlin. With 50 million copies sold, not only is Bing Crosby's White Christmas the best-selling Christmas song of all time, it's also the best-selling single ever, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. White Christmas has been covered by everyone from Elvis to Karen Carpenter to Lady Gaga. But I'll bet nearly everyone who hears the words White Christmas immediately has Bing Crosby's crooning voice echoing in their minds just at the sound of the name. White Christmas. 1, 2. for how great our joy is not really known, but according to the New Oxford Book of Carols, it may date back to as early as 1500 AD in Germany. In 1623, the tune was modernized and given an echo setting. And I guess we're going to try and do that tonight.
Yep.
Okay? One, two. The next one is O Holy Night. In the late 1840s, the song Cantique de Noël became popular in France and was sung in many Christmas services. But the French Catholic Church leaders decided Cantique de Noël was unfit for church services because of its lack of musical taste and total absence of the spirit of religion. But even though the church no longer allowed the song in their services, the French people continued to sing it. A decade later, an American writer, John Sullivan Dwight, saw something in the song that moved him beyond the story of the birth of Christ. An abolitionist, Dwight strongly identified with the lines of the third verse. Truly, he taught us to love one another. His law is love and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. He published his English translation of O Holy Night, and the song quickly found favor in America, especially in the North during the Civil War. O Holy Night. One, two. earliest known printed version of Angels We Have Heard on High was in 1842 French songbook. Though the source of the song is unknown, it is believed to have originated in 18th century France. The song was first translated into English in 1860 by James Chadwick, a Roman Catholic bishop. Angels we have heard on high. 1, 2. Upon a Midnight Clear was written by Edmund Sears in the late 1840s. This may be the only commonly sung Christmas carol in our hymnals that does not mention the birth of Christ. The focus is rather on the Song of the Angels, peace on earth, goodwill to men, taken from Luke 2:14. It was first published on December 28th, 1949 in Boston's Christian Register. It came upon a midnight clear. Ready? 1, 2. Next is a very, very common tune for Christmas. I think everyone knows this one. O come, all ye faithful. It's an adaptation of a Latin hymn, Adeste Fidelis. The exact origins of the original hymn are not known, but it was most likely composed by John Francis Wade in the middle of the 18th century. The Latin version, or at least the first two words, meaning come you faithful ones, is recognizable to some of us today, partially because it has been covered by people like Andre Bocelli, Bing Crosby, and Nat King Cole. The most well-known English translation was done by Frederick Oakley in 1852. O come all ye faithful. Ready? 1, 2. Christian Men Rejoice is a hymn that goes back many centuries, possibly as early as the 1300s. The words were written by a Dominican monk by the name of Heinrich Suso. Suso lived in a time when darkness and poverty and hopelessness were the facts of everyday life. He was born into a family that would have made him part of the ruling class. But with a great concern for the common man and his sufferings, Suso chose the priesthood. He attempted in his ministry to lift the spirits of the people who he knew had very little cause for them to rejoice. This was not the normal ministry of the church at that time, so Suso suffered persecution for his service of worship. However, this did not derail this determined man. He continued until his death to reach the common man with his song and its message. Good Christian men rejoice. Ready? 1, 2. Could almost be considered a contemporary song. It was written by Nicky Shavers, and probably around the 1960s. He was born in 1943. And that's all I know about this song. But it's a nice tune, and we hope to do it justice. Christmas Bell. Ready? 1, 2. O Come, Emmanuel has its origins date back to the 9th century. Not 19th century, the 9th century. In the early 1800s, though, the Anglican Church was in decline. Theology had been watered down by secular influences. The general quality of the worship experience suffered as a result. A group of theologians from Oxford University set about to revitalize the Anglican Church and help bring about a return to a traditional Christian liturgy and elevated the quality of music and hymns sung during the service. John Mason Neale researched hymns that had been sung in the past, especially ancient Latin hymns from pre-Reformation times, with the intent to translate them into English and reintroduce them to the Anglican congregations. During his research, Neale learned that the existence of a then out-of-print Roman Catholic hymnal first published in 1610 in Cologne, Germany. It was in this hymnal that the Latin text of O Come, Emmanuel first appeared in hymn form. Neale translated the Latin text into English, and the text that we know today appeared in the English hymnal Hymns Ancient and Modern in 1861. O Come, Emmanuel. Ready? 1, 2. Our last song is Silent Night, Holy Night. By far the most symbolic song of the Christmas season. But for many years, the author of this song was unknown until an exhaustive search leading to a small Austrian village revealed the song's origins. It was Christmas Eve, and the tower of a small church of the village dominated the snow-laden houses of the town, like a hen protecting its chicks. In the presbytery, the young friar Joseph Moore, 26 years old, is reviewing the gospel in preparation for that night's ceremonies when a knock at the door breaks the silence. It is a peasant woman who asks the parish priest to help a baby that has just been born. Without delaying, the priest leaves the comfort of his home and, after a hard climb up the mountain, arrives at the humble abode where the child has been born. Upon his return, the stars shine in the heavens, reflecting their light on the whiteness of the snow. He begins to reflect on the scene he has just witnessed. The child, the peasant couple, and their humble home have all impressed him. They remind him of another child, another couple, another humble dwelling in Bethlehem of Judah. After midnight mass, Friar Moore is unable to sleep. He takes pen and paper and begins to write a poem that will begin the lyrics of the song Silent Night. The next morning, Christmas Day, 1818, the pious priest looks for a friend of his called Franz Gruber, then 31 years old. After reading the poem, Gruber exclaims, "Father, this is exactly the Christmas song that we needed." Praise be to God. And that very day, he composes the musical score to go along with the words. And it took 30 years after they wrote the song till it was actually found out that they wrote it. Until then, the origins of Silent Night, Holy Night were unknown. So, Silent Night, Holy Night. 1, 2.